Andromeda and the Sea Monster, a tale from ancient Greece. Stretched out across the evening sky, one group of stars forms the shape of a beautiful girl bound by chains. This is Andromeda, a royal princess, being sacrificed to the sea monster Cetus, who lurks menacingly nearby. Close, too, is Perseus, her heroic husband-to-be, who will save her life. The daughter of King Cephus and Queen Cassiopeia of Ethiopia, Andromeda was famed for her beauty. Yet while the king doted quietly on his daughter, the queen was vain and fond of boasting. One day she claimed to all who cared to hear that her daughter was lovelier even than the Nereids, the exquisite sea spirits in red coral crowns and sand-white robes who accompanied Poseidon, god of the sea. When Poseidon heard the queen's ill-guarded words, he was filled with rage. To teach her a lesson, he called on Cetus, a terrible sea creature with monstrous jaws and a coiling body covered in silver scales. Cetus was commanded to ravage the coast of Ethiopia, whipping up waves and raising floods that devastated the land. In despair, the terrified people called on their king for help. And so Cephus consulted the oracle and begged the gods with all of his heart to guide him. "Sacrifice your daughter to Cetus," the oracle said. "There is no other way to save your kingdom." The heartbroken king had no choice. He must do as the oracle ordered. While his wife looked on, now in bitter remorse, he ordered Andromeda to be chained to a rock in the sea. There he left her, softly weeping as she prepared to die. At that very moment, flying through the air on winged sandals, a gift from the gods, came the great hero Perseus. Fresh from slaying Medusa, he was returning home when he sighted Andromeda, standing as still as a marble statue, her soft hair stirring on the breeze. Captivated by her beauty and anguished by her plight, Perseus asked her name. At first, Andromeda was too afraid to speak. Instead, her eyes overflowed with tears. But eventually she told Perseus her sorry story. Before she could finish speaking, a brooding grey head and shining neck arose from the sea, parting the waves as it surged towards her like a colossal ship. As Andromeda's screams rang out, Perseus seized his sword and called to her parents, who clung pitifully to the rock. "Let me marry your daughter," he said, "and I will rescue her from this beast." By now the sea monster was so close, Andromeda could feel its foul, festering breath. Without delay, Perseus swooped down and drove his sword into the creature's barnacle-encrusted flesh. Letting out a deafening roar, wounded Cetus reared up, then twisted round, snapping wildly at his attacker. Again and again the hero struck, flying swiftly out of the way of its menacing jaws. With the creature bloodied and tiring, Perseus struck his final mortal blow. At last, Cetus collapsed and sank to the depths of the ocean, never to be seen again. Soon after, to much rejoicing, Andromeda and Perseus were married. A great feast was held with music and dancing. As Perseus entertained the guests with tales of his Gorgon-slaying exploits, a commotion broke out in the hall. The king's brother Phineus, bragging and blustering, claimed that he, not Perseus, was meant to marry Andromeda. Quick as a flash, Perseus took out Medusa's head and turned Phineus to stone. In time, Andromeda bade farewell to her parents and followed Perseus to Greece. They had many children and lived happily and ruled long and well. And when Andromeda and Perseus died, the gods placed them in the skies as stars, shining brightly alongside Cassiopeia, out of reach of Cetus's deadly coils.